Once again, in the glow of the atom.
Thank you, recruits. I appreciate you coming to Captain Ace's retirement party when you hardly knew the man. Appropriate, too, seeing as how investigating his death will be your first duty as a Desert Ranger. Ace had been trying to locate a faint radio signal, which has lately been giving us cause for concern. We gave him 3 repeater units and sent him to hook them up to 3 remote radio towers. This would have allowed us to get a fix on the signal. But sadly, Ace was murdered by unknown assailants right after hooking up the first tower, and his logbook and the last 2 repeater units were stolen. Yeah, I know. You've hardly found your feet with us, and here I am sending you on a mission that already got 1 Ranger killed. Well, I wish I had another option, but the Desert Rangers are spread a little thin right now. Ranger teams Abel and Charlie are out west trying to stop a range war out there from becoming straight-up genocide. And Team Baker is up north, looking for a way through the radiation that's cut us off from Vegas. I'm afraid the next generation is going to have to lead the charge on this one. The voice on those broadcasts disturbed me greatly. It talked crazy talk about a future where man and machine would be one. Worse, it talked about us, the Desert Rangers, specifically. It said it was coming for us. When you get back to the Citadel, talk to our radio expert, Wade Woodson, if you want to know more about the technical details. All I know is the repeaters will upgrade the towers and allow us to zero in on the mystery signal. I'll give you the locations of the towers once you have the repeaters in hand. More important to find them first. Don't know, but it wasn't on Ace's person when he was found. Look for it. It might have some clues as to his death. The mission is this. Search the area where Ace's body was found, and do your best to recover his logbook and the repeater units. Then call in your report. If you find the repeaters, I may send you on to finish his mission. Ace's death must be avenged, and it will be. But finding the signal he died trying to track down is just as important. Besides, I got the sneaking suspicion that when you find the one, you'll find the other. It's about a day's walk east from here. I'll mark it on your map. There you go. Yes, call in on your radio. Your radio is your lifeline to Ranger Citadel. We'll be calling you with alerts and updates on your current missions, and sending you new missions when we receive distress calls. As Rangers, it is your sworn duty to respond to those calls. That is the contract we made with the people of Arizona when we opened for business. Once you prove yourself, the Citadel will be your new home. Consider this mission the final test of your training. If you succeed, you are welcome within our walls. If you fail, then you aren't cut out to be a Desert Ranger, and we won't let you in. Kissing ass already, huh? Well, some folks in the Waste can be persuaded that way, but not everyone. I've been buttered up by the best of them, so I'm wise to those tricks. You get through our doors with deeds, not words, recruits. Good try, though. Good luck out there, recruits. Why are you still here, recruits? I gave you your orders. Now go search the area where Ace's body was found and recover his logbook and the repeater units. Good luck out there, recruits.
Echo what? Mind picking up that can over there for me? Think there's some water in there.
God damn it, Ace. You never should have put down the wrench and picked up the gun. Sorry about the waterworks. I'm still pretty broke up over Ace. I'm Angie. You kids must be the new recruits old Vargas trained up. Lord, y'all just babies.
They all hurt, but this one... Man. Ace wasn't even a ranger. Not at first. He worked as a driver and mechanic for Fair and Brygo up in Vegas. When Base Cochise started sending its death machines into the desert, Brygo sent Ace south to recruit robot fighters. We met him in quartz. He'd pissed somebody off out there and they'd locked him up. We sorted that out, and he started running with us, helping us fight Cochise. Never stopped. Vargas eventually gave him the uniform and the hat, but I don't think he ever formally signed on. He was just always there. And now he's... God damn it, Ace. I knew this one was trouble, I knew it. Better than he'd like. Back in the day, the General was the craziest of us all. But somehow, after he brought down Base Cochise, he became the sanest. Now he's running the whole show, and doing a damn fine job. While I'm still walking patrols and answering radio calls. Shows you how much ambition I got, huh? Sorry, but you are. As cute as little kittens. Y'all remind me of us. Snake, Razor, Thrasher, and me. Back when we were just starting out. Thinking we were gonna save the world for the future. Thinking none of us would ever die. Christ, sorry. Don't listen to me. Youth is good. Optimism is good. If we all started out worn out and jaded like me, nobody'd ever try to change the world. So you kids go ahead and give it a go. Maybe it'll work this time. You noticed that, huh? Well, Ace always said I wore my heart on my sleeve. Yeah, me and Ace, we were more than just old army buddies, if you know what I mean. That's why it hurts so bad. That's why I want to come with you. Man, not sure I can recall. Haven't been out that way in ages. Don't even know if it's still on the map. Ask Thrasher, he'd know. He was working on the same thing Vargas has you working on. Trying to track down radio signals from beyond the edges of the map. All seemed a bit boring and scientific to me. But then Ace started saying he thought someone was following him. I asked him to let me come with him when I met him at Rail Nomads to give him the repeater units. But he told me to go back to base. He said he was just jumping at shadows because those radio broadcasts had spooked him. I should have gone with him. Why didn't I go with him? An old military facility from before the war. And the biggest fight the Rangers ever had. There was some crazy computer in there that kept spitting out robots and sending them off to kill people. We had one hell of a fight putting it down. Earned our stripes that day. Literally. That's when I became Captain Death. Well, like I said, he was one wild-ass son of a bitch back in the day. But I think the weight of his responsibilities has kind of squashed that out of him now. He hasn't been in a decent bar fight in... shit, a decade, maybe? He's another one gone. Went out for a patrol a few weeks back and never came home. Don't know if he's dead, or AWOL, or gone off to join the Scorpions. All anybody knows is he hasn't called in, and we haven't heard from anybody who's seen him. I miss old Hellraiser like blazes. Didn't talk much. Didn't make friends easy. Wasn't big on social graces. But he was as loyal as they come, and when the shit started flying, he was the guy you wanted at your back. He didn't win that name by accident. Sharp as a razor, scary as hell. You better call him Gilbert now. Funny, back in the day, he just seemed like this big old growly bear. Strong as an ox and just about as articulate. But then he got all torn up during our fight with the robots from Base Cochise, and he couldn't go out on patrol no more. Any other commander would have handed him his walk-in papers. But Vargas doesn't dump old friends. So he started him working in the museum. And once you know it, turns out the old bear has a knack for cartography. He's been gradually mapping our little corner of the Wasteland ever since. Who'd have thunk it? Could be a nice little place, if the Atchisons and Topekans would kiss and make up. I can't even remember what it's all about, but between them, they got enough old railroad tech that if they worked together, they could give this area a real transportation system. Instead, it seems like all they want to do is blow each other's heads off. Idiots. I don't really know the details. It's all a bunch of mumbo-jumbo about transmitters and north-south axis and signals bouncing off the clouds. Ask Woodson about it. He's our radio genius. Ace played me some of them before he died. Hard to make out a lot of it, but what I heard made my hair stand on end. Some guy talking about turning men into machines. Or machines into men, or some shit. But the crazy thing was, then he starts talking about us. The Rangers. Saying we're the cause of all the trouble in the world. And we need to be wiped out so his glorious future can be born. I mean, who is this guy? Where is he? What the fuck does he have against us? Yeah, the Base Cochise AI. Don't know what was wrong with it. Broken, I guess. It thought everybody was its enemy. Wanted to kill the whole planet. You weren't briefed on those fucks during your training? Well, let me fill you in. You know when we left the prison and moved here to the Citadel? Well, the Scorpions were the jerks who moved into the prison when we moved out. Just a bunch of Rangers back then, but they've been getting more organized. Call themselves a militia now, and they try to act like they're the Desert Rangers of eastern Arizona. Well, that's a load of horse shit. Protection racket ain't the same as protecting people. They shake down all their towns for money. And if the locals don't kick in, they smash them up. The Rangers aren't like that. We get by on donations and good old-fashioned scavenging. Radio technician Wade Woodson? Sure do. He's the guy that makes sure you can hear Vargas when you're out on patrol. Keeps the machines running and the signal clear. He'll also talk your ear off about circuits and frequencies and I don't know what else if you let him. But be nice to him. He's your lifeline to the base. Basically everything between the prison and the radiation clouds to the east. There are a few small towns and farms out there, which the Scorpions claim is their territory. Rangers used to patrol that area before we moved here, and we knew it pretty well. But a lot can change in 15 years. Who knows? Maybe it's all as clean and nice and crime-free as the Scorpions say it is. But I've got my doubts. The edges of the map, kiddies. Big hot areas we can't get into without getting cooked to a crisp. The clouds move around some with the wind and the weather, but there are permanent hot spots on every side of us. North, south, east, and west. Until we started hearing those weird broadcasts, I kinda thought those clouds went on forever. And that Arizona was the last place on Earth. But maybe there's more people out there. Maybe the whole rest of the world's just fine, and we're the only ones in hell. Wouldn't that be a joke?
Say, listen. Vargas asked you to look into Ace's death because he thought I was too upset to be professional about it. He didn't want me going off half-cocked and shooting up all of Arizona looking for his killer. But I gotta find this guy. Ace and me, well, we'd been fighting side by side for nigh on 20 years. I'm not letting him die unavenged. So, well, I know it's going against orders, but if you let me tag along and be in at the kill, well, I'll help you find your feet out there. Maybe give you a few pointers along the way. I may be old and slow, but I know the wastes like the back of my hand. What do you say? Cool. No need to tell Vargas why I joined you. If anybody asks, I'm just helping you get oriented, all right?
Echo, this is Ranger Command. Come in. Roger, Echo 1. Just making sure your radio is working. I'll be your dispatcher from here on out. I also wanted to give you a little heads up on your water situation. If you've all got full canteens, you should have enough water to reach the place where Ace died with plenty to spare. But if you're going to go exploring, you'll want to fill up again at any oasis you can find. Remember, your main priority is to recover the repeater units Ace was carrying. Once you've got the devices, you'll be headed to Ag Center and High Pool to install them. But we'll talk about that after you acquire the repeaters. We must, of course, bring Ace's killers to justice. But right now, that's secondary to discovering the location of that signal. It is vital that all teams stay in radio contact with me here at the base. We get distress calls from all over our jurisdiction and sometimes beyond. Towns or farms or mines being attacked by raiders, mutant beasts, what have you. We field those calls here and then dispatch whichever team is closest to the problem. Until now, Woodson's been our dispatcher. But Ace's death made me realize I've spent too many years in my office, walled off from the world and how it's changing. I need to know what's going on out there, and I figure the best way to do that is to start listening to the people's problems. So, I've decided that from now on, I'll be the one fielding calls and talking in your ear when you head out into the wastes. Don't let that make you self-conscious or nothing. 10-4, Echo 1, carry on. Ranger Command out.
SOS! SOS! Is anybody out there? This is High Pool. We are under attack. I repeat, we are under attack. Raiders with mortars and explosives are blasting our walls. If anybody can hear this, come at once. Don't know how long we can hold it.
Ranger Citadel, this is Ag Center. Come in. We're under attack. The plants, they're mutating out of control. They're tearing my people apart.
Ag Center, this is Citadel Base. Can you repeat? Did you say the plants were attacking?
Yes, goddammit, the plants. Something's gone wrong with them. The door. They're breaking down the door. Fall back. Fall back.
Ranger Team Echo, this is Ranger Command. Come in. Did you copy those distress calls from High Pool and Ag Center? Over. Roger that. Listen, Echo 1, I have no one else in the area and no further intel at this time. I'm afraid it's going to have to be your decision which call to respond to first. Whichever one you choose, get there ASAP. Both situations are emergencies, and both sounded like they were deteriorating rapidly. While the repeaters are still alpha-level priority, civilian emergencies have to come first, before heading back out to get the repeaters. Sending you the coordinates for both locations now. Copy? Uh-huh. Suspicious, isn't it, Echo 1? Like someone's monitoring our transmissions and trying to stop our little radio experiment before it starts. Keep an eye out for suspect characters. Copy? 10-4, Echo 1. Godspeed. Ranger Command out. Roger, Echo 1. Then listen. I know I said the radio tower was at the top of your to-do list, but you need to deal with the emergency situation first, before heading back out to get the repeaters. Repeat, talk to Kathy Lawson and take care of her emergency. Then continue with your mission to find and hook up the repeaters. Protecting civilians is always a Ranger's #1 priority. Do you copy? Roger, Echo 1. Advise when complete. Ranger Command out.
Okay, this is bad. This is kill it with fire bad. What the hell caused this?
Hello? By the doors. Can you hear me? Hello? Are you there? What the hell was that? Did you idiots
Looks like the
just blow
pods are
yourselves
triggered
up
by
right
sudden
in front of the
movement.
door? You pricks better be the damn Rangers. We've been calling for help for hours. The plants have gone crazy. About time. Yes, we need help. What have I been saying? I'm opening the doors now.
Rangers, where have you been?
Ms. Lawson, meet the new recruits. Recruits, meet Ms. Lawson.
Forget the friendly introductions, Angie. Wasn't the deal we made with the Rangers, we give you food, you give us protection? Well, your recruits are looking pretty goddamn well fed, but we've been up to our tits in killer tomatoes for 8 hours, and not a Ranger in sight.
You should take it from here, recruits. Learning to deal with angry citizens is part of the job.
About time. Now listen, we think the mutations stem from contamination in our irrigation system. Unfortunately, the computer that operates the pumps seems to be malfunctioning and we can't shut it off remotely. Maybe its circuits are overloaded from all the alarms going off. The computer is down the corridor past the airlock behind us. I can open that lock, but if you're gonna do your job and rescue our guys, see Rose. She has the current override codes for the greenhouse airlocks. Either way, we'll lead you to the computer room eventually. If you can get the computer working, you can shut down the pumps from there. If not, you'll have to go into the east and west fields and turn off the valves by hand. Now get going before any more of my people die. Sometimes I think that thing is more trouble than it's worth. It's supposed to automate all our irrigation and feeding, but it seems to be, like, on the fritz most of the time. As if the rest of this craziness wasn't enough, the plants are also starting to explode. Get too close to one of those red pods and bam! Huh. Come to think of it, everyone who's changed into one of those pod people got blasted first. If I could get one of those pods to study, intact, I might be able to come up with a cure. I suppose a handful of fragments of pods, let's say 10, would do the trick, if you can't manage to collect a whole one. If we don't find a cure, the infection will surge back and we'll all be dead. You want to use our radio dish now. Can you see we're in the middle of a fucking crisis? Fuck you. Go find it yourselves. Yes, go. Do your job. I'll open the central airlocks for you now, but remember, we might have people trapped in the greenhouses, so talk to Rose for the door codes.
Rangers, hot dog. I knew you'd come. Hey, Angie. Got hit by one of those exploding pods. Oh, Kathy says she can fix me up. I hope so. Hurts like the dickens. I recognize the uniforms, but not the faces. Y'all must be new recruits. Hope this ain't your first dance, though, because I got the feeling it ain't gonna be a walk in the park. Name's Matt Forrestal. I guess I'm the boss around here. Used to wear one of them stars, though, back in the day. Got a little too close to one of those exploding pods. Now I got a little plant shrapnel souvenir. No big deal. Normally, just keep everything organized and humming along. Today, get blown up, fail to help my people, I guess. Sorry, Rangers. I don't mean to be all self-pity and rain clouds. Just having a shitty day. Yes, indeed. I was a ranger. Back before old Vargas's hair turned gray and Ace was just still a 3 of clubs. Quit to run the Ag Center after I took a bullet in the gut.
missed any organs, but I just couldn't move like I used to. They're red seed pods that explode when you get close to them. That's what happened to me. Tried to go in and pull one of the farmers out. Damn pod went off like a grenade. Still haven't got all the shrapnel out either. Stings like damnation. We've lost a lot of good ones, but I'm damn proud of everyone. We haven't had widespread panic. Tensions aren't spilling over too bad. Folks are doing their honest best trying to help where they can. If you find anyone as you make your way into the complex, I'll make sure you get commendations and compensation for helping them out. Yeah, I heard. Bet I knew before the Rangers did. Damn shame. Wish I could have gone to his retirement party. Hope you kids did him proud. Damn proud of this place. Signed on here because I figured there were ways other than shooting bad guys that I could make the Wasteland a better place. And make a profit at the same time. Not doing too bad at it either. Got a little distribution deal with the rail nomads, and hopefully soon we'll be keeping the local communities fat and happy. Even Ranger Citadel. Of course, this little crisis might change all that. Serious setback. Heard about it from one of our farmers named Skinner. Said he talked to some wandering merchant who traveled with him and seen the attack. Recognized Ace by's description. That crazy hair of his. Well, the food ain't doing any good if it just sits here and rots, is it? I let the researchers figure out the best way of growing things. My job is to get it to the people. Yeah, once they get themselves straightened out, we plan to use their rail lines to ship to all our customers. But until we can stop this crisis and make sure the food is safe again, nobody's gonna get fed. Don't know what happened exactly. Rose seems to think our irrigation system's been monkeyed with. Whatever it is, everything in the facility is mutating faster than we can keep track of. The plants are growing weird, exploding pods. The insects are as big as bear cats. Even the men. I don't know what they're turning into, but it's horrible. It's gotta be stopped. He helps cultivate the fungi in the mushroom caves. Good man, if a little too partial to snake squeezings. Last I saw of him, he was in the mushroom caves looking for his family right after the plants went loco. Don't know anything else about him. You're welcome to ask Skinner, if he's still alive. Sorry. Wish I did. Skinner just said the merchant told him he was a strange man, but that was all. Maybe you can get more out of him. One of our researchers, a mentor to all the rest of us. I think she's working down the hall to the left there. Well, I don't know if we're gonna manage to find a way to reverse all this, but we gotta at least stop it from getting worse, and that means we gotta get that irrigation system turned off. You already talked to Kathy about that, right? They're below the center. You can get to them through the computer room. Perfect for growing fungi down there. Things are a little paltry right now, but I've got some gear you can make use of. That's some foul stuff. Like gin. It was made in a bathtub somebody died in. Yeah, it does take the edge off from time to time, though. Thanks for coming by, Rangers. Always good to see new recruits taking their first steps into the big wide world.
Don't touch anything! Don't touch anything! Don't touch anything! Don't touch anything! Don't touch anything!
If it isn't Dr. Rose. Still as creepy as ever, I see.
Hello, Angela, dear. Still as fearful and technophobic as ever, I see.
After what I've been through, can you blame me? Robot arms make me nervous.
Do you say the same to your old friend Gilbert? I understand he has a new leg now.
I hate that thing. I told him not to get it.
You would rather he was still lame?
Well, leave me alone.
Sorry to be so brusque, children. Everything in this room is an experiment in progress, and not to be disturbed. Now, what can I do for you? I assume you're the help that Matthew and Catherine said was coming from the Ranger Citadel? Oh, that? I lost it in a gardening accident. A traveling doctor gave me the new one. Quite a gadget, isn't it? We at the Ag Center are constantly looking for newer, safer ways to improve crop yield and wholesomeness. This lab is where that experimentation takes place. He's our fearless leader, and a dear, dear boy. Things have really improved here since he took over. I hope that exploding pod didn't do him any lasting damage. We need him now more than ever. She's a bright young thing. I taught her all I know about plants and seeds, and she has gone on to outstrip me in every way. A sponge for knowledge. I hope she can figure out the root of this madness. It's got me stumped. I know all about the Rangers. I've been around a long time, after all. I even remember when you took over the Citadel from its former occupants. Yes, I have the greenhouse code, but listen. I want to come with you. I need more samples if I'm going to make sense of this mess. If you let me come with you, I'll take you through the doors myself, and I can help you find your way around. And don't worry, I have a gun. I can take care of myself. What do you say? Excellent. Let me just turn this burner off and I'll be all ready. We can stock up for my lab supplies if you'd like. It may look disorganized in here, but I know where everything is. Be careful if you go in there. I asked one of our techs to secure some of my valuables. I don't think I have the skill to disable the rather aggressive countermeasures on the safe. We shouldn't be in here. This is Catherine's office. Private. Animals, all gone. Your current state is not life at all. Don't worry, I can open the airlock.
I'm seeing a bunch of researchers and farmers under attack in the greenhouse. You've got to get rid of the animals attacking them and clear a path out.
Rangers, help me rescue these fine men and women. It would seem they have something to discuss if they survive.
Damn it, I told you to...
Oh my. I consider myself unflappable, but that caught me off guard. I must put you out of your misery. Watch out for those pods, youngsters. They explode. I am not an automaton for you to command, Echo One. I will do no such thing. Quickly, people! Evacuate in an orderly fashion and regroup in the lobby.
Copy, Echo 1. This is Ranger Command. Go ahead. Over. Copy, Echo 1. Appreciate the update.
Ranger Citadel. Come in, Scorpion HQ. This is Burton again, calling from High Pool. We are still under attack. These damn wreckers are blowing us to pieces. Send help, anyone.
High Pool, this is Ranger Citadel. Our closest team is already answering a call at Ag Center, but they will try to reach you as soon as they can. You read me? Over.
Yeah, Vargas. We've heard it all before. High Pool always comes last, doesn't it? The Scorpions don't treat us like second-class citizens. The Scorpions don't move! Shit! Hit the deck!
Copy, Echo 1. This is Ranger Command. Copy, Echo 1.